Awesome. I'm now recording. All right. Hi, guys. My name is Maddie. I am obviously a fitness instructor at the Rec. I teach this class 3x3x3, which I'll get into kind of what it's going to look like today in a little bit. And I also teach body combat. I'm just going to read our waiver really fast just to make sure that we are all set and understand kind of what's going to be happening. So in order to make these classes as freely accessible as possible to our participants, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of the class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you have moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you are participating in a yoga class or a class that involves laying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice or care as needed. William & Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the advice of your healthcare provider before participating. So that's the logistical side of things. As far as 3x3x3, what you're in for today, it's a strength workout. So basically it is going to work your upper body, your lower body, your core, and then also get in some cardio. So you might be wondering, what are all those threes about? So basically the first three just has to do with, we do 3 big blocks of work. And inside each of those blocks, we're going to be doing a minute of upper body, a minute of lower body, a minute of core. That's the second 3. And then we repeat each of those minutes 3 times. So essentially you're going to be doing kind of 9-ish minutes with a little bit of break in there. And that's one big block. We do that 3 times. And in between each of the blocks, we do a minute of cardio. So it sounds a little confusing right now, but you guys will get used to it. But we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm up. I'm going to put the Spotify playlist in the chat just in case you guys don't have access to that. If you want to pull that up, go ahead and get it started right now. But and again, I mentioned this already. I'm so sorry about my internet connection. We're trying to get it figured out, but just try to follow along. The main thing is that you guys keep moving. Not a big deal if you miss some of my cueing or anything like that. It's all at your own pace, so you guys will be totally fine, and I apologize in advance for all the Zoom stuff. But we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So what I've been doing on Zoom is a little bit different from what I usually do in class. I've been starting with something called the world's greatest stretch and then doing a little bit of cardio. So that's what we're going to be doing now. All right, so the world's greatest stretch, all that is essentially a stretch that gets you ready and your muscles all ready to get started. So we're going to start just standing. All right, I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see nice hip width that's apart. We're going to start by inchworming our hands out into a plank. All right, so our hands are directly underneath our shoulders. And from here, what we're going to do is lunge either your right or your left foot, doesn't really matter, up to the side of your hand. So you're going to frame your hands around that foot. What we're going to do is take the hand that's closest to your leg. All right, we're going to try to drop that elbow down to the mat. And then we're going to twist open towards that side. I'm going to actually turn this way so you guys can see. We're in a nice deep lunge. We bring that arm down to the mat, and then we twist open towards that leg. So we're going to do 5 reps here. So at your own pace, get those 5 reps in. I've got 2 more and 1 more. And I'm going to turn again so you guys can see me once again. So the next thing, stay in this nice deep lunge. We're going to connect the fist of that same arm that was just twisting right above that elbow. And now what we're going to do is try to drop through that hip flexor and drop that elbow down to the ground and then just pop right back up. So trying to get into that hip flexor, get into a little bit deeper of a bend with that 90-degree angle in the front. Again, let's do 4 more reps. 3, 2, so we're getting those hips nice and open. And the last one. So again, we're gonna frame the feet or frame those hands around that foot. And what we're gonna do is pop back into a hamstring stretch. So straightening and extending through that front knee, coming back, bending that back leg, and tipping that toe up to the ceiling. Just feeling this for 10 seconds. 9, making sure we've got a nice flat back. So trying to get that chest down to your knee rather than your nose. 3, 2, 1. All right, and the last portion of this world's greatest stretch, again, gonna get into those hips, into those quads. We're just gonna come into a nice deep lunge, just like this, 90-90, bringing those hands up, and we're gonna pulse 1 inch up and 1 inch down. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Just remember which leg you've got forward, you guys, because we're gonna switch it up on the next one. All right, let's do 3, 2, and the last one. We're gonna bring those hands down, cartwheeling down to frame the foot again, bringing that leg back into a plank, and then we're gonna inchworm, bracing that core back on up. And I'm gonna switch sides so again, you guys can see me, but we're gonna do the other leg. So I did my right leg forward, now I'm gonna do my left leg forward. Let's swan dive it forward, keeping a nice micro bend in the knees, inchworming it forward again into a plank. This time, we bring that opposite leg forward, framing those hands around the foot. And again, we bring that hand, that elbow that is closest to our knee that's forward. We bring that elbow down and then twist open, getting into that lumbar spine, into that thoracic spine. And also feeling, I don't know if you're feeling it too, but a little bit of a glute opener as well. I'm gonna do 2 more reps to make my 5. And there's that 5. Again, facing you guys so y'all can see. We're gonna connect the fist of the hand that was just moving directly above that elbow crease and just dropping into that front knee to get that elbow to the ground for 5 reps. 3, 2, and 1. All right, bringing those hands to frame that foot again. We straighten this forward knee, bend that back one, and lift that front toe up off of the ground, popping that toe up to the ceiling, feeling a nice big stretch in those hamstrings. Mine are pretty tight from all the stuff I've been doing. Hopefully yours are feeling okay for today. We'll hold this for 3, 2, 1, and our last stretch, again, coming into that nice, deep 90-90 lunge. That means 90 degree on the front leg, 90 degree on the back leg. Bringing those hands up, and we'll just pulsing up and down. 5, 4, and again, when I say pulse, I mean nice and controlled. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. 2, and 1. All right, guys. Hopefully your legs are feeling a little bit more open. Your arms are also feeling a little bit more open. We'll get into those in a second. We're just gonna do now 2 minutes of a little bit of cardio work just to make sure that that heart rate is ready, heart rate is up, and that our cardiorespiratory system is also ready to get going, okay? So honestly, we're just gonna do 2 minutes, 4 moves, 30 seconds each. Let me grab a timer real fast. All right, you guys. So let's get started with some jumping jacks for 30, ready, set, go. So what I want you guys to be practicing, you can be speeding this up as much as you want. You can be slowing it down just like this. All we're doing though is making sure that we are springing out of the ground, bending those knees, absorbing the shock with our knees. And if you don't want to be jumping, we can also just be tapping. Awesome, guys. Keep it up. My timer's gonna turn off. All right, in 3, 2, we're going to jump rope. And 1, here we go. So same philosophy here. Nice bent knees. If you guys have been doing classes with me for a bit, you know I love a good jump rope combination. So if you want, you can be doing forward and back. We can also be doing side to side. Or my personal favorite, we can be doing our rotation. So bringing one hip forward and then the other hip forward. But again, just trying to get you guys breathing heavy before we drop into some of our work. Turned off. Keep it up, keep it up. For 3, 2, we're gonna go into high knees. Here we go. High knees for me, guys. So bringing those hands right out in front of you. Your elbows are at a 90-degree angle, trying to get those knees up to touch. But again, you can slow it down or speed it up. But I want us to focus on height for now. Nice bent knees as we land. Almost there. We're gonna end with a 30-second sprint. In 3, 2, 1. Lean it forward for me and sprint it out. Get those hands pumping. We're almost done. Just breathing nice and big breaths in, sucking that air already within the first 7 minutes of class. All right, guys. We're so close. Keep it up, keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Very nice job. All right, so we're gonna drop into the body of our work, starting with our first big block. Grab some water though. And if you can, guys, anytime that we're breaking in this class, I just ask that you try to keep some movement in your body, whether that's a little stretch, a little toe tap, anything like that. I would really appreciate it, and your body will also really appreciate it. So usually what I do is I demo the moves. Excuse me. See, my cardiorespiratory system's a little bit tired there. So I usually demo the 3 moves before we get started, and then we'll just kind of move all the way through it throughout the block. So our first move for upper body, you can again have weights or no weights, but what we're going to be doing, I'm going to stand to the side so you guys can see, but we're going to be doing a deadlift or a dead row to chest fly combination. So we're going to shave our legs down to our knees for a dead row, bring our hands to face each other just like this, and then we're going to fly, pinching those shoulder blades together. We bring our legs, our cans or our no weight back to our knees, and we row it back up. So it's a row to fly, squeezing those shoulder blades, and then a row back up. All right? Then for our lower body, we're going to come into a tabletop on the ground. So knees directly underneath our hips, shoulders directly over our hands, or hands directly under our shoulders. We're going to be doing donkey kicks. All right? So donkey kick, just making sure that your foot is flexed towards the sky. We're squeezing that glute. We're doing triple pulses. 1, and then a tap. So 3, 2, squeezing that glute. 1, and a tap. Again, it's a pulse, but it's also a 1 inch up, 1 inch down pulse. So I want to see nice, slow, and controlled movements. And then for our core move, we're going to be on our sides, all right? Doing some oblique crunches, so really getting into those side abs from the very beginning of class. So I want that bottom arm out in front of you just like this. Your weight is on the meaty part of your butt. I'm going to just scooch this way a bit. So our legs are straight out behind us for the beginning. What we're going to do is pulse for 3, and then bring it back down. You can bring that hand to those temples when we're in that rest position. The main goal is to really channel the work right here and not use this bottom arm, all right? So I will keep a timer for you guys, but essentially we go through those 3 moves, we take a little break, we go through them again, take a little break, and go through them again, all right, guys? So let's get that timer going. We're gonna get started with those bent over chest rows. Ready, set, go. So again, you can grab those cans. I'll show it without cans for the first one though. We can also just deadlift, fly, still squeezing those shoulder blades, and fighting gravity, which is the main thing that I want you guys focusing on. If you have cans, or if you don't have cans, fighting that gravity. Excuse me. So shaving those legs, just like this. Our gaze is about 3 feet in front of us. Nice neutral neck. That is the main thing. So if you hear any extra beeps, that's just the halfway mark. And I'll be keeping an eye on that time. So again, guys, with those flies, making sure that we're squeezing our shoulders and our hands don't really come past our shoulders. They're right about there. If you want to make it more difficult, you can extend those arms. Less difficult, take a regression. You can also bend those arms, bringing them back down, and then shaving. You can also go a little bit deeper with those rows, but I want you to keep it pretty close to the knees. All right, guys, let's come onto the ground. We've got a 10-second break to transition. Coming into those donkey kicks, we're keeping it on one leg for this whole minute. Ready, set, go. So pick a leg and triple pulse. 2, 1. Awesome. So with that tap, it can be a nice long tap. You can take a little break, or you can choose rather just to bring that leg down without tapping it. Or for an extra challenge, you can also bring that knee in towards your chest to bring a little bit of core work as well if you want to take those progressions, all right? So with this one, what I want you guys really focused on is that pretending if you had headlights on your hips, you want those headlights to be forever trained on the mat, all right? Nice and even, nice and straight. They don't change. That beam should be a perfect circle on the mat. Keeping it on that same leg. Racing to that core, guys. Drawing that belly button up to the spine. Let's see, I'm gonna bring my time over here so I can see it. All right, guys, 5 seconds here. We're going into those oblique crunches. We'll stay on one side for the whole minute. So again, bringing that bottom arm directly out in front of you. You can have that palm down or up. We crunch up for 3 pulses, and then bring it down. Trying to think, I almost think of this like I'm all like a blind, I don't know why, but I think that I've kind of got a string that when I tug on it, it's pulling my entire body together and bending a little bit, kind of like a blind. Don't know if that's getting across to anyone, but that's what I like to think about. I want you guys to really focus on crunching and controlling through those abdominal muscles and feeling that tug in this side ab, side core muscle. All right, that's your oblique. That's what this crunch was designed for. And again, you can pulse for longer if you'd like. We can also just do a single crunch if that pulse is a little bit too fiery for you. The main thing though is trying to keep as much of the work out of this bottom arm as possible. All right. 3, 2, 1. We have got a 20-second break. We're going back to the top with those fly rows, all right? So again, if you can, keep moving, grab some water if you need it though. This time I am gonna grab my can, so if you have that option, you're more than welcome to. All right guys, 5 seconds. Get set up, make sure we got a nice micro bend in the knees. Hip distance apart, we row down, fly, and then we row back up. So full discretion, a lot of these moves, I took Doug and Terry's body pump class on, what day was that, Friday. I stole a lot of those moves. I just thought that they were really effective, especially for body weight. And I thought I'd share them all with you guys. So if you want to channel this a little bit more into that back, you can hold that chest fly for just a little bit longer. Again, squeezing through those shoulder blades. I like to say that if you had a pencil or maybe a $100 bill in between those shoulder blades, it would not fall. So if I put one in there, should be able to hold it, making sure that we're keeping those shoulders out of those ears. And again, if you want to channel this a little bit more in those hamstrings, we can get a little bit deeper into that row, making sure though we keep that nice micro bend, flat back. 4 seconds, you guys, almost there. Maybe get 1 more rep in. Beautiful job. All right, coming back on the ground. Hopefully you remember which leg you did. Let's swap legs, find that nice tabletop position. And anytime you guys that we're doing stuff that is kind of double-sided, so we do one side then the other, whether that's for 30 seconds in the minute or a minute and then a minute, just making sure that we're doing the same option on both sides. All right, a really big kind of perk of this class is that it is very modifiable to each of you. However, I also want you guys to make sure that we're being nice and even, right? If you modify on one side, let's make sure that we modify on the other. And again, I've been forgetting to do my triple pulses, but this is a triple pulse movement. That's the base movement. If you want to take it down to a regression, you can just do that singular tap. We also, again, can just keep that knee up off of the mat, or we can crunch it in towards our torso. The main thing with that though is making sure that every time we do a singular rep, we're checking in with those headlights, making sure that those hips are square to the mat. All right, guys, 2, 1. All right, back to that core move. So again, come on that opposite side. And make sure I face you guys. That arm comes out in front. Again, same thing, same modification that you did on the other side, we're gonna do here. All right, so we're trying to think of yourself almost like a blind. As soon as you pull that string, your whole body comes together, crunching, channeling that heat, channeling that fire in this side abdominal muscle, which I feel like is often a very neglected muscle. Maybe not in your everyday workout practice, but definitely in mine. Just because I feel like the rectus abdominis, which is that front kind of washboard muscle, is usually the one that gets a lot of attention. But I really like to focus on the stabilizer muscles, the transverse abdominis, and also those oblique muscles. Give them some love, which hopefully we're gonna get to do together today. All right, guys, 3 seconds, 2, and 1. Woo. All right, maybe take a little bit of a stretch there. If you want, you can come kneeling and bring it over just to stretch that oblique. Stretch to the other side, but we're coming back for the last round to those bent over row flies. I want you to think about it, guys. How can you challenge yourself, whether that's more reps, more tension, anything of the sort. Ready, set, go. So that's another big takeaway about this class. This is a real class that I truly, truly believe in because it is so helpful to everyone, anyone who's willing to give themselves a shot, to give their bodies a shot. And because you can change it as much as you like, your third round may look completely different from a third round from someone right next to you. All right, so all I want you to be focusing on is how can you challenge yourself. All right, we're halfway there, so really hone in on that. Maybe hold that chest fly a little bit longer. Maybe go a little deeper into that deadlift. Got my hamstrings right there, just felt it a bit. Again, I told y'all they're a little sore, but we got 10 seconds left, you guys. Let's get this done. This is the last time we'll do moves like this, so really make them count. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, guys. So for these last two moves, we're gonna do 30 seconds and then 30 seconds. So pick a leg, we'll switch halfway through. Ready, set, go. Again, we're only doing 30 seconds, so maybe we try that progression of not tapping that knee. Maybe we drop the tap, we just keep pulsing. Maybe we squeeze that glute just a little tighter. All of those are perfectly viable options. Hopefully you guys are getting ready for your last week of school, if you're still in school. All right, go ahead and swap. So set that nice tabletop and then lift and do that donkey kick. All right, guys, so making sure that foot is nice and flexed. I think about it as if we're gonna try to tap out, punch out a ceiling tile. You need a nice flat foot to make sure that ceiling tile goes straight up in the air. So again, trying maybe a progression, maybe taking a modification. Squeezing that glute for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, guys, so again, we will swap really quick in the middle. The main thing is, though, let's make sure that setup is correct. All right, so really get it into those obliques nice and early. That means not using this bottom arm for support, using it truly just for balance. That's something that I really struggle with, but I do find that if I put my palm up, it helps a little bit with that. So try that out, see how it feels. Making sure that our weight is on that meaty part of our butt cheek. All right, guys, almost there. Let's try to get in 2 more reps. Ooh. Maybe gritting those teeth a bit. All right, guys, swap really nice and fast. But again, making sure that setup is correct before we get going again. So here we go. Still on that meaty part of the butt cheek. Still pretending we're a nice big blind that someone just opened us up. I've never thought about that before when I'm doing an oblique crunch, but it just came to me today. So hopefully that makes sense. 3, 2, 1 more. Very nice, guys. So as promised, that was our first big block of work. We have now got some cardio. All right, so just a minute, just 1 minute of cardio. We're gonna be doing for this first round, ice skaters, all right? So finding a nice big spot either behind your mat or in front of it. And essentially we're gonna be hopping with one knee up and then hopping to the other side. All right, so regression is named to tap. Progression is to try as hard as you can. Ready, set, and go. So I find that really swinging my arms like this helps me, one, get a little bit heavier into those cardiovascular systems, but also helps me keep my balance. And again, that regression, a nice big tap, either behind or to the side. Just remembering to breathe here. We are almost there, guys. Gotta get that heart rate up once more. Whew, all right. After this, we'll get a nice big break. So really give it your all for 15 more seconds. Let's pick it up. 8 seconds. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way through 0. Good job. Amazing job. All right, guys. So please keep it moving. Keep toe tapping. Grab some water. Grab a towel off. And we'll get into the next little circuit. All right, so that one worked our chest and back, our hamstrings and our glutes. All right, this next one we're gonna be focusing on our triceps, our quads, and then also some of our more stabilizer muscles in our core. Okay, let me grab some water and we'll get right into it. All right. Excuse me. All right, guys. So we're going to be doing a tricep push-up for our upper body movement, but I promise it's not going to be quite as nasty as you may be thinking. So what we're going to do is bring those hands nice and tight, so a little bit narrower than you would usually do. You want those elbows to be sliding past that rib cage with every push-up. So we're going to be pushing up just like this. Again, that chest doesn't come past our elbows, and then what we're going to be doing is opening up and alternating and opening to the side. So just a nice big chest opener. So a tricep push-up and then a tricep opener just like this. Alrighty, so giving you guys a little bit of a break in between and also stretching that chest a bit as well. For our lower body move, we are going to be doing a minute on each side. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to be doing a squat to a lunge. All right, so if I'm going to start with my left leg back, my lunge, this leg, I don't know what side it is, but this leg is going to stay stationary the whole time. All right, so we are squatting, coming up, and lunging. Oops, I'm going to fall over. And then lunging. So squat, up, lunge. You'll notice this knee has not moved. All right, and I'll give you some progressions on that as we go. For our core move, we're going to be starting in a forearm plank. We're going to be doing some plank up downs. So starting on our forearms, all what we're going to do is come up, up, down, down, and then swapping sides. So up, up, down, down. Again, bracing through that core and trying to keep that butt down. All right, the main thing that I'll give you some progressions on that as we get into it, okay? Well, let's get started with those tricep push-ups. I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see, but I'll alternate a little bit. So tricep push-ups to a chest opener. That can be on your knees, toes, or tabletop. All right, ready, set, go. All right, guys. So again, this doesn't have to be too deep. The main thing is that we're keeping, I don't want to talk so that you guys can't hear me. The main thing is that we're keeping that butt down. All right, and also that we're keeping those elbows as tight in towards our chest as possible. And again, if you want to try out that progression, you can absolutely take it onto your toes. Woo, halfway, guys, halfway. This first time, if you've got really rocking triceps, maybe you're not feeling it quite yet, but I promise that you will on that next one. Again, it doesn't have to be too deep, but really focusing on that great technique, bracing that core, especially as we come and push up and out of that push-up. All right, 5 seconds. Let's try to get maybe 2 more reps in. Woo, very nice. All right, guys, so squat to lunge. All righty, so again, if you've got the cans and want to use them, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, though, totally fine. But we are squatting and then lunging, all right? So if you want a little bit of a progression, try to stay down that whole time. So squat, lunge. See how my head doesn't really move as far as levels go, maybe a little bit downwards in that lunge, but the main thing is that I'm not popping up and out of that squat or out of that lunge. That is a nice progression to really channel the fire in those quadricep muscles on that standing leg. We're here for the whole minute, so try to make this count. On that squat, let's make sure we're pushing those knees outwards, all right, and getting that butt back and down like we're sitting in a chair. And on those lunges, again, that nice 90 degrees, big, wide stepping lunge that we practiced before, all right? And again, remember this modification, we're gonna try to be nice and even on the other side. You can also tap in between. That's another great regression if you'd like to take it. Awesome, guys, that was our last one. Coming into plank up downs. Just getting a feel for these moves on this first round. So, if we're starting our forearm plank just like this, up, down, down, and then swapping sides. So again, I want you guys to remember your headlights. Try to think about channeling those beams on your hips onto towards the mat, making sure they're nice, perfect circles on the mat. A regression, you can keep those knees on the mat and really just channel this a little bit more into those shoulders because they're still taking a big brunt of the weight. Or we can be up just like this. Main really important thing, guys, is no valleys, no mountains. Especially with the valleys, I find it's really easy to accidentally do those when we're coming up into that into that plank on your hands. All right, 5 seconds, almost there. Beautiful job. All right, 20-second rest. Maybe take a little bit of a towel break, a little water. We're coming back into those tricep push-ups. All righty. So, again, those hands are directly under our shoulders, nice and tight towards our bodies, and a nice big chest opener. Ready, set, go. Down, up, and just like that. Again, hopefully you guys have enough room. I'm a little cramped over here, but that's okay, because you can lift up on that front knee, the same knee that's opening towards the twist. As you can see, halfway, you guys. Same concern here, making sure that we don't have any mountains or valleys. Again, with that valley, I find that it's really easy to want to do this, come into a cobra kind of stance as we're coming up out of that tricep push-up. What I want you to do, press those palms into the mat and think about you're pushing the floor away from you, okay? So really, really ground those hands in the floor. Last one here. Very nice job, guys. All right, so lower body, let's switch legs. I kept this leg stationary, now I'm keeping this leg. And again, if you use weights, please grab those weights. We're coming up into a squat and then tapping it back for a lunge. And again, you can pop out of those, still making sure that we're keeping a nice micro bend in those legs as we move them around. We don't ever want to lock out our legs, especially when we're doing such big work like this. We can also keep that head nice and level. We can also, whoops, I'm gonna fall over. We can also tap in between if you need to do that. All right, that's another great option to take this move down just a touch. The main thing that I want you guys focusing on is getting into those quads. And especially on those lunges, if we're not feeling it quite as much in that quad, I want you to lean forward a little bit, almost like you're looking over a cliff of that knee, okay? That's gonna ground that tension a little bit more in our glute and in our quad. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, back to those plank up downs. Maybe trying a different option this time. Trying it on your knees for a little bit. I know a minute of plank can be a little bit rough, especially on our wrists, but hopefully this takes a little bit of that pain and a little bit of that tension out of it. Just trying to remember, if you're watching me and you're like, you know what, she's not alternating. It's very hard to talk and alternate, but try to alternate yourselves. All right. So again, guys, shaking is great. Shaking means that those transverse abdominis muscles, which run all the way from our back here, and wrap all the way around our front, protect our spine, they're really working hard. Those are muscles that we need for everyday movement. They are key, all right? So I really want us to focus on this move. Bringing that belly button up and into that spine. 3, 2, 1. All right. 20-second rest here. Grab some water, grab a towel, keep moving, keep stretching if you can. You need to maybe take a little bit of a back stretch, a little bit of an extension here, and then round through that back as well. All right, guys, tricep push-ups for the last time. Think about how you can challenge yourself. Whether that's really squeezing to those triceps, that's a great option. Whether it's coming up to those toes, or maybe just one rep. I think that's what I might try to do to challenge myself. Maybe it's getting a little bit more reps in. If I already said that, I don't know. But think about it and then apply it. All right, think about how you're going to challenge yourself and then apply it. Again, as we place those hands back from that chest extension, making sure that our hands stay directly beneath those shoulder heads. 5 seconds, guys. Let's try to get one more in. Woo! Beautiful job. All right, lower body, we're gonna do half and half. So pick one leg. This time you don't have to do those hands. If you don't want to, I'm gonna grab them. So 30 seconds on one side, and then 30 seconds on the other. Making sure that with each movement, we're making sure that our setup is correct, all right? Because a squat's not gonna be a great squat if our feet are back like this, right? Our feet have to be level and in line with each other. This class is all about really challenging those muscle groups, but also working on that technique. All right, that's halfway, let's swap legs. So we go squat, and that other leg stays stationary. And again, remembering those options, we can come totally up, out of each of these moves. We can also tap in between. But trying to change the modification depending on what you did on the other side. 2 and 1. Whoo! Those quads, you guys, ow. Shaking them out a little bit. Getting ready for that last plank up down, alrighty? All right. Here we go. Again, taking it on those knees, totally fine. But trying to alternate. Trying to keep your body in one nice big line. And that includes your neck, all right? Making sure that neck is about 6 inches in front of you. That's where that gaze is. I know you guys are all doing awesome. It's hard for me to remember to motivate and to cue you guys. Y'all are rocking it just because I can't see you, but I know that you are. So keep it up. We're almost done with this giant block. And we are just about 2/3 of the way through class, and more than that, honestly. 5 seconds, guys. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze through the abdominal muscles. Amazing job. All right. So our second cardio burst. This one, we're going to be getting into those quads just a little bit more. So find nice big open space. I'm going to move my mat back just a touch. We're going to be coming into a squat, a nice big long jump, and then we're going to run it on back. All right. 3, 2, 1. Making sure that we're landing with nice bent knees. You can use that momentum. We're sitting in a squat. I'm going to try to do a long jump this way so you guys can see. We land in a nice big squat. Land with those nice big bent knees. And then if you want, we can run it back like this. We can high knee it back to really pump that cardio. And run it back. And again, pumping those arms. Woo. Maybe feeling this a little bit in your calves as well. Just being careful. Even if you don't have the space to do this, even a little jump is gonna get that heart rate up. 10 seconds, guys. Let's try to get 3 more reps in. 2. And last one. Beautiful. All right, you guys are rocking it. If you feel your heart pumping a little bit, I know I do, that is great. Take a nice deep breath in, maybe toweling off, getting ready for this last big block of work, all right? So, I'm gonna demo these moves. All right, guys, so I try to make you guys as even as possible as far as opposing muscle groups. So we worked our chest, worked our trapezius muscles, we worked our triceps. So now we're gonna work our biceps to make sure that this upper arm section is nice and even. If you have cans, this is the move that I suggest that you have them for, but if not, I can also suggest some ways to really get the most out of it nonetheless. But we're gonna be doing basement bicep curls. That means we have a nice micro bend in the knees. We come up, halfway, up, all the way down. So up, halfway, up, all the way down. All right, and I'll give you some more progressions, more options on that if you're not feeling it, or if you're feeling it way too much. If we're doing it without cans, what I want you guys to be focusing on is really squeezing through those biceps. It's this nice big muscle directly above your elbow crease in between your shoulder, squeezing on the way up and squeezing on the way down. All right, that's how we can kind of trick the muscle into thinking there's tension there, is by contracting it as we go through the move. All right, lower body, again, you can grab those cans if you'd like, but if not, that's totally fine as well. We're gonna get into those glutes a little bit and also into those inner thighs with some lateral lunges. So we start, I might have to turn to the side to do this, but I'll try to show you guys this way. All we're doing is starting with a nice open stance, and then we're gonna step to the side, leaning back, knees stay forward, knees point forward the whole time, and then stepping back to the side, which again, I'll have to turn to do it. But the main thing is that when we do it, that butt comes back just like it would with a squat, and then we really, really use this leg, the leg that's out, to push ourselves back into that standing position, keeping that micro bend in the knees, okay? In our last move, this is gonna be a medicine ball twist, all right? So we're gonna be on our backs just like this, with our knees bent, kind of in a crunch position. We're gonna bring those shoulder blades and that neck up off of the ground, making sure that we're not checking that neck too much. Nice neutral neck still. We're gonna pretend like we have a medicine ball in our hands. So we're gonna crunch up with the medicine ball, and then we're gonna throw it to the side. So it's an up crunch, and then a throw. Up crunch, and then a throw. All right, so again, twisting through those obliques, getting into that that rectus abdominis with the upward crunch, and then the obliques with that rotation. If you wanna grab a can, you can hold it above you like this, and then rotate. This is a move I stole from combat, so it's a good one. We know it's a good one. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with those basement bicep curls. Ready, set, go. All right, guys. So again, nice micro bend in the knees, nice wide shoulder width, hip, I don't know what I'm saying, hip width distance apart. We're bringing them up, halfway, up, and down. So even if you have those cans, right, because the cans don't tend to be super, super heavy, which is a good thing because it allows us to really focus on our technique, but we can even be squeezing those biceps here, even if we got a little bit of tension. What I want you guys to be focusing on as well are those core muscles. So the core, if I turn to the side, we don't want your pelvis tucking out like this. We want to tuck that pelvis underneath us, bring that belly button into the spine, and make sure that we're stabilizing through those core muscles, working those transverse abdominis muscles that we worked during our plank up downs. Alrighty? 3, 2, 1. Amazing job, guys. So we're going into those lateral lunges, so don't put the cans down. You can keep them if you'd like. I am going to turn to this side just because I have more room this way, but you can rack those cans. Ready, set, go. You can rack those cans up like this. You can keep them down by your hips. Might get a little bit in the way there, but you can also keep them at your shoulders. Just try it out. Try where you'd like to put them. But I really want you guys to be focusing on springing out of that lateral lunge to get back to the middle, all right? That is how we work through this adductor muscle, okay? Or as Callie says, her adductor. Butt comes back, looking down, making sure that those knees are facing forward the whole time. There's a big tendency to point that knee out kind of at a diagonal towards the corner of the room. We do not want to do that. We want to keep that knee nice and forward, just like you would if you were doing a regular squat. All right, chest stays nice and lifted. Again, if we were together and I can see you guys, should be able to see the stuff that's written on your shirt. And power out of it. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. Those medicine ball twists. So come onto the mat, knees up in the air. We start
up like this, that medicine ball. We crunch up, keeping that head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat, and then a rotation. So those head, neck, and shoulders stay off the mat the whole time. That back elbow should be touching, just kissing the floor. If you want to speed this up, you totally can. Main thing though, let's think about where that lower back is. All right, I know I talk about this a lot. That lower back needs to be imprinted on the mat at all times. All right, halfway guys, we are almost there. This one, this ab movement, is really meant to gas you. Just breathing. Exhaling as we twist that oblique. 2 and 1. All right, rest a little bit. Maybe take a nice long stretch. And then let's roll it on up for those bicep curls again. Keep it moving. Grab some water if you need to. We are so close, you guys. I'm also realizing we might go a little over, so if you do have to leave, totally fine, but try to make sure you stretch at the end. We just may be like 2-3 minutes over, all right? So again, nice micro bend. Let's begin. Check in with that core. I don't know what I just did. Up to center, up and down. So I'm calling these a basement bicep curl just because usually this movement, I see it with squats, and we call it a party in the basement because you do a down, up, down, then up. So just taking it into those arms, using that same terminology, party in the basement. Again, if you don't have those weights, let's demonstrate that now. All we're doing is squeezing and contracting through those bicep curls, through those bicep muscles. Again, you may not feel an extravagant burn like you would in class. However, anything you can do to work out those biceps, they're gonna thank you for it. So, totally fine if this is where we're at today. I just wanted to make sure we were getting as even as possible. All right, guys, last one there. Good job. Back to those lateral lunges. Again, focusing on those knees, focusing on the explosion up and back into the center. Ready, set, go. So we lunge to the side, and then we pop up. We lunge to the side, see how far back I'm going. My knee also does not pass over my toes. You guys can see that on this side. See how my knee is right in line with that toe. That's exactly where it should be. We want to make sure we're still, just like with good squat form, we're not letting that knee go past our toe, all right? Because that butt needs to be coming backwards. And explosion. And explosion. You should be exploding so hard, which I just felt it there. We should almost be falling over, all right, onto that opposite side as we push up and out of that lateral lunge. Squeezing that adductor, which is that inner thigh portion of our leg, which I feel like, especially in quarantine, is not getting a lot of love. Whew. 5 seconds, guys. Let's try to get one more rep in on each side. Beautiful. All right, so if you want to maybe take a little bit of a progression, you can grab that can. I'll do it for a little bit and then drop it back. But knees up to the sky. We lift up and twist. Up and twist. So again, I'll remind you guys, our head, neck, and shoulders are never on the mat with this move, right? When we're lifting, we're just lifting them a touch more up, and then we keep them up as we twist. Up and twist. But notice how my head, neck, and shoulders, my shoulder blades are still up and off the mat. Big key with this as well is that we're not just rotating our hands, right? So we're not just going like this. It is a full body twist that stems from our chest and involves those obliques, all right? And again, if you're not doing with a can, totally fine. Remembering to breathe, super easy to forget to breathe. Lift up and twist. Lift up and twist. That lower back, check in with it. Make sure it's plastered on the mat. 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. Roll it on up. We are on our last chunk, all right? Our last time through these exercises. So again, think in your mind right now, how are you going to challenge yourself for the last time? Well, almost the last time. We still got one more cardio peak, but let's get back into those bicep basement curls. So up to center, up and down. All right, so that center for me is right when those arms reach 90 degrees, right around my belly button level, maybe a touch higher. We can also be pulsing there for just a little bit. We can pulse for 3 and then bring it down. But again, just trying to give you guys some options to really challenge yourselves. All right, are we thinking about that core? We need to be, any movement that we do upright or on the ground, we need to be thinking about that core. So again, if you've got a mirror, or if you can see yourself in your camera, maybe if you've got your camera on, tuck that pelvis, keep that nice micro bend in the knees, and then curl. So up, up, and down. That's how you can really start to build those abdominal muscles, and not just the washboard ones, but the most important transverse abdominis, stability ones. 3, 2, and 1. Finish up that last curl. Great job. Oh, keep the cans or don't keep them. I'll demonstrate without. With these, you can just clasp those hands in front or just lateral lunging. Again, exploding up and out of that lateral lunge. That's really, honestly, today, you guys, where you're going to see, I would say, the most benefit from this lateral lunge, right? We kind of work those quad muscles already with our squats and our lunges. Our lateral lunge, if we are really, truly using that adductor muscle, rather than our momentum to get ourselves out of this move, we're going to feel it tomorrow. And all that I have to say to that is, you're welcome. Halfway there. Grab those cans, just to demonstrate if you guys have got them, or if you've got those weights. So again, look down, make sure those knees are not passing your toes, and make sure that weight is in the heels. We should still be able to wiggle our toes. 3, 2, last explosion. Good one. All right, guys, our last time through this core move. I know that it's a challenging one. I challenge you to try to lift those head, neck, and shoulders just a touch more often the whole time. Ready, go. Up and twist. Up and twist. So as we're lifting up, all we're doing is bringing that rib cage down to meet our hips, closing that gap. Remembering to breathe, keeping that head, neck, shoulders. Unless we need a little break, then we take one, and then we come right back into it. That's our halfway point, guys. We are so close. Again, we're rotating through that chest. Up and twist. For 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Again, lay it long, stretch, but we're not done yet. We've got one more cardio peak. All right, guys, we're gonna bring something back from the warm-up that we did. We're gonna do 10 seconds on sprinting, 5 seconds off, and then we'll get right back into it, okay? So stay with me, I'll be cueing you guys, but if you lose me, that's okay too. Just count to 10 and then stop for 5. Ready, set, 10. I'll cue when to stop. 3, 2, time, rest. All right, guys, we're leaning it forward. Ready, set, go, sprint. I'm giving you quite a bit of rest, so I really want you to focus on pumping those arms, getting into it. Time, rest. All right, guys, set, sprint. Okay, touch it forward. 2, time, rest. And we'll go these last 15 seconds. Ready, set, go. All the way through 0, all the way to the end. Earn that cool down, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, time. All right. Amazing, amazing job. Maybe grab your waters. Ooh, we're actually doing great on time. Okay, amazing. So If it already hasn't reached that in your Spotify playlist, there are 2 cooldown songs. The last 2 songs are your cooldown songs, so if you want to pick one of those, go ahead and put those on. But meet me when you're ready in a child's pose. Alrighty? We're gonna get into those hips a bit. We worked them. Work those inner thighs right in the last second. So all we're doing, coming to a nice tabletop, pressing those hips over those heels, letting those arms extend over our heads. To work something different, you can also press those toes together, bring those knees a little wider, get into that nice child's pose. Just meet me here. I'm gonna try to make sure you guys can hear me, so I'm not gonna be doing the best form on this child's pose, but that's okay. All right, and if you'd like, go ahead, take both of those hands to the left corner of your mat. Do you feel a nice side stretch going all the way through that armpit to that hip? All right, so feel a little bit in that oblique, which we honestly worked quite a bit today. Just letting, releasing here. And as you exhale, maybe sink a little deeper. Let's come back to the center. So just wriggling those fingers back to center. Just like this. And let's bring it to the other side, to that right side of the mat. Again, trying to replicate that same stretch that you just got on the other side. All right, guys, bringing it back to the center. What we're gonna do is come up into a nice big tabletop, just like this. And we're gonna take one of your legs, doesn't really matter which one. We're gonna bring it forward into a nice big hip flexor stretch. So we practiced this pretty much all of class because we did a lot of lunges today, making sure we get a nice 90-degree bend. We're gonna tuck that pelvis underneath us, which again, I'm gonna turn to this side so you guys can see a little bit better. We're stretching through our hip flexor, so tucking that pelvis underneath us and then pushing forward. And then bringing that hand, the same hand as the leg that's backwards, so the opposite hand from the one that's forward, into a nice big tricep stretch. And again, we can get into those obliques a little bit more if we want to lean over towards the foot that's forward. Keeping a nice proud chest though, making sure we're not hunching over with this one. Whoop, keeping that balance. Nice big giant stretch, lots of muscle groups here. All right guys, let's cartwheel them down, hands to frame those feet. We're gonna come back to that same stretch that's in the world's greatest. Nice big hamstring stretch. So let those hips come over your feet, your heels. Let that front toe pop up to the ceiling. Nice straight leg in front. Nice micro bend though. We bring that chest down towards our knee. Whew. My hamstrings are still pretty sore, but I think that I worked them out pretty well today. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. It is not easy to get up at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. for me, but 11 a.m. for you guys on a Sunday. So proud of you all. Thank you for joining me. All right, guys, when you're ready, come back into that tabletop position for a second, reset. Let's bring that opposite leg forward into a hip flexor stretch. So again, a nice 90-degree angle in front. Tuck that pelvis underneath, push forward, and bring that same arm as the opposite from the one that's forward into a nice big tricep stretch. Making sure we're not grabbing directly on top of that elbow, but directly beneath it. And then if you want, you can tilt just a touch over to the side of the leg that is forward. Again, not trying to hunch over with that chest. Nice proud chest. Ooh, I'm gonna fall over. Pressing forward still in that hip flexor. Nice job, guys. All right, hands down to cartwheel and frame those feet. And again, we bring those hips directly over those heels. Our front leg straightens out a touch. And there's still a nice micro bend though. Heel, toe pops up to the ceiling. And we just let this stretch really radiate through that whole hamstring. Chest is down towards that knee rather than your nose. I want a nice flat back for you as much as possible. So long as you're thinking about a nice flat back and trying to emulate it, that is great for me. All right, guys. So bring that knee back into a kneeling position. Pop your legs up underneath you. Come into a forward fold just like this. I want you to hang here for a second. I'm giving you a nice long cool down. You guys totally deserved it. And when you're ready, go ahead, give yourselves a nice hug, nice little stretch right here, and then roll it on up one vertebrae at a time, letting that neck and your head be the last one to come up. Beautiful job. All right, let's get some quad stretches in. So grab one of your legs, put the other arm opposite for balance. Grab those shoelaces, knees together, nice micro bend. Said it a billion times today, but a nice micro bend in that standing leg. And we push those hips forward for a deeper stretch. If you want something even deeper, we really did work these quads today. You can bring both hands behind you. Just trying to stay balanced here. Nice proud chest. Nice job, guys. Release it and switch it up. So other leg, still put those knees together. Press forward in those hips. And again, if you did it on the other side, please do it on this side. Awesome job, guys. Last one, last couple stretches. Let's bring our arm across for a nice shoulder stretch. Bring that shoulder up, back, and down. Making sure we're not grabbing directly on that elbow, but either above it or below it. Open up to that chest and then swap. Bring that shoulder up, back, and down. All right, last couple. Let's bring our arms behind us like we're hugging a tree behind us. All right, and now bring your hands wide. Give yourselves a nice big hug. Stretch into that back as well. And then give yourselves a nice big round of applause. You guys rocked it today. Thank you so, so much for joining me. I hope I said my name was Maddie at the beginning. If I didn't, that's okay. But my name is Maddie. I'm so, so glad that you guys came and joined me. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully I can see you guys next semester or in future occurrences with Right Through Right Through. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, you can chat me privately or let me know. But I'm going to stop recording now. All right.